Lord of the people, my talent is 100 million point strong. Chapter 1, Global Travel, 1 billion lords. Lei Xiao suddenly opened his eyes and found himself standing in front of a small wooden house. Before waiting for the sleepy-eyed him, he completely regained his senses. A mechanical voice without any emotion suddenly rang in my ears. Welcome to the era of the Lord of the whole people. Dear Lord, congratulations on your becoming one of the billion lords. The cabin in front of you is your lord's mansion, and construction and development is your primary goal. Here, you can attack cities and lands, command the army to kill the quartet, or go to war, and sit behind the scenes to reap the benefits of the fishermen. When your territory develops to a certain stage, you may meet other lords. Whether to form an alliance or kill and plunder, please decide for yourself. In addition, your territory has a 3-day protection period. During this period, you will not be attacked in any form. Please strengthen your strength as soon as possible and plan ahead. Note, please be kind to every subordinate who follows you, they are also flesh and blood living beings. Warning, please be careful with every action, if the territory is completely destroyed, or you are fatally injured, you will die completely. I'm transmigrated. Although he was full of doubts, the strange sight in front of him made Lei Xiao realize this very quickly. At this time, the sky was clear and the sun was shining so brightly that people could hardly open their eyes. He was surrounded by a green forest. And in the sky, there are 2 suns, one big and one small. However, it seems that I am not the only one who has become the Lord, but a billion people. Thinking of this, Lei Xiao couldn't help but exclaimed in amazement. All in all, you must understand this new world as soon as possible. If you are a little careless, you may not really die. Before he could think about anything else, Lei Xiao's eyes refocused on the small wooden house in front of him. This small wooden house can be described as very simple, many places have been moldy and black, and there are mottled colors everywhere. This is my lord's mansion. I don't know if it will leak on a rainy day. With a slight pouting, he tentatively walked in. Lei Xiao came to the room and stepped on the creaking wooden floor. The area of the wooden house is only a dozen square meters, and the furnishings are very simple. Except for a strong musty smell, there was only a hardwood bed with a straw mattress and an empty wooden box. Just as Lei Xiao was about to take a closer look, he suddenly felt a whirlwind. Immediately afterwards, some basic rules about this new world poured into his brain. At the same time, many translucent options appear in the field of view, which can be called out or hidden at any time. Among them are territory information, chat channel, trading center, and so on. Surprised, Lei Xiao, who came to his senses after a while, first opened the territorial information. LV of the Lord's Mansion, 1, you can receive 2 first-order recruitment orders every day. Owner, Lei Xiao. ID, 0013076067. Population, 1/10. Number of buildings, 1. Storage space, 0/100. Materials required for upgrade, wood X 2000, thatch X 1000, stone X 500. The so-called territory, is there only one log cabin? What's the difference between this and the start of a koan? Evolution all depends on swallowing. Shaking his head in disbelief, Lei Xiao's mind moved, and 2 quaint wooden tokens appeared out of thin air in his hands. Tier 1 recruitment order, a Tier 1 subordinate can be summoned at random. At this stage, you can summon 2 people a day, that's not bad, it's better than a bear commander. Looking at the recruitment order in his hand, Lei Xiao pondered for a while, but did not rush to summon. Instead, he opened another function, chat channel, ready to see the situation and make plans. Currently, only the regional channel, home is open. Click directly. You have entered channel 022218. The channel is very lively. Before each message, there is an ID number, my name and a gender symbol. Damn it. Where is this? Didn't I drink with Miss in a nightclub? Where's the big pad I rented? Brother Meng, I was in LA just now and asked someone to borrow 300 yuan. Why did I suddenly come to the desert? Do you understand what I mean? Damn it. It turns out that I wasn't the only one who crossed over. I thought that my protagonist's halo finally appeared. By happy. Is there any little brother who is willing to take me home? The little girl has to live broadcast and bring goods at night. I can promise you any conditions. I have 2 listed companies, who can tell me how to go back. I'll give him 50 million. After a while, until more and more people recognize the reality. The topic in the channel began to change from fear and nonsense to discussing territory and exchanging experiences. Of course, all of them are lessons from failure experience and blood. And, almost everyone is aware of an imminent and important issue, survival. Everyone, please don't send people to look for food outside the safe area. 2 of my first order and 1-star farmers were bitten to death by a black-haired spider that was bigger than a person. It's so scary. Gone. One of my peasants seems to have died too. The other one just ran back and didn't dare to go out, but the problem is that although there is water in my safe area, there is no food at all. Hey, I am possessed by the European Emperor, and I have recruited a first-order 2-star powerful hunter. I am making a trap at the entrance of the camp, preparing to catch the prey. Mortals, tremble. Help. The farmer was just dragged into the water by a crocodile like a yacht, and the man was shivering beside the swamp. What should I do? Nima. I found a big lizard that can breathe fire. Isn't labor and management dazzled? Looking at the content that the chat channel kept flashing, Lei Xiao's heart became more and more flustered. A spider bigger than a man. A crocodile like a yacht. A fire-breathing lizard. These ferocious monsters that only appear in novels and movies actually appear in reality. Most importantly, these are just the messages that appear in the chat channel. Does that mean that there are some people who have just crossed over, and they have no time to send a message, and they are already cool? Thinking of this, Lei Xiao began to sweat coldly on his forehead. There is no doubt that www.mflnovel.com here is obviously very different from the previous world. And, extremely dangerous. After calming down for a while, he calmed down a little, regained his composure, and began to analyze the clues he had just obtained. First of all, the billion people who have passed through are basically young men and women, and there are no elderly or children. Secondly, no matter what background everyone had before crossing, everyone started with a log cabin. The location of the territory is also different. There are woods, rivers, swamps, and even cliffs and so on. Although most people can find various water sources near their territories, food is extremely scarce. Finally, outside the safe zone of all the lords, there are monsters or other similar ferocious creatures wandering, which is very difficult to deal with. Even the first-order subordinates that many people have just summoned have blood stained at the feet of these powerful creatures. It seems that, let alone sieging cities, it is the current stage of survival, and I am afraid that a large number of people will not be able to survive. At this time, looking at the 2 precious first-order recruitment orders in his hand, Lei Xiao, whose mood had already fallen to the bottom, could not help but sigh. I hope to recruit a hunter who can make traps, at least to maintain a basic livelihood. However, having said that, very few lords recruited hunters in the chat channel. As a senior African chief, Lei Xiao did not think he would have such good luck. Next, just as he was about to use the recruitment order with an uneasy mood, the mechanical sound just now rang in his ears again. It is detected that the awakening conditions have been fulfilled, and the talent is awakening. Dear Lord, congratulations, you have successfully awakened the unique God-level talent, Goldfinger LV.1. Lord of the people, my talent is 100 million point strong. Chapter 2, God-level talent, Goldfinger. The only talent? Goldfinger. After being stunned for a moment, Lei Xiao showed a look of surprise and joy. As a senior web literature lover, he naturally understands the meaning of golden fingers. Could it be the rhythm of taking off? Excited, Lei Xiao immediately opened the talent description. 1. Touch a specific item to upgrade the item. 2. The upgraded items will randomly change qualitatively or quantitatively. 3. Each item can only be upgraded once. My dear, this is like turning a stone into gold. Closing the description, Lei Xiao couldn't wait to look at the first-order recruitment order in his hand. Next to the 2 recruitment orders, the 3 small characters, upgradable, were displayed. Upgrade. Without any hesitation, Lei Xiao moved his mind and chose one of them. Due to the first use of this talent, the lucky crit effect of the newcomer is triggered. Congratulations, your Tier 1 recruitment order has been upgraded to a Tier 5 recruitment order. Straight, directly to the 5th rank. Looking at the wooden token in his hand, it instantly turned into a dazzling golden color, and Lei Xiao was so excited that he almost rose to the sky. According to the ground rules that flooded into his mind at first, he clearly understood. In this world, the strength of first-order subordinates is no different from that of ordinary people. And the fifth-order subordinates can already be said to be the powerhouses of the famous side. The gap here is conceivable. It's the difference between Pleasant Goat and Godzilla. Such tyrannical strength, not to mention dealing with the monsters in the surrounding area, is more than enough to single out an entire low-level army. It seems that my talent seems to be over 1,000,000 points. Thinking of this, Lei Xiao's joy was beyond words, and he directly pressed the use button of the recruitment order. In an instant, in front of him, a golden gate of light appeared out of thin air. Immediately afterwards, a tall man with a beard and a height of at least 2.3 meters or more strode out. In just a few short steps, even the Lord's mansion trembled. Looking up at the opponent's sturdy mountain-like body and exploding muscles, Lei Xiao called him a good guy. Before going through the blue star, I am afraid that only the Hulk in the movie can compare with this strong man. The Berserker Knotweed, see Lord. Seeing Lei Xiao, the other party immediately bowed and saluted, with a rough voice, not a respectful one, but a sincere respect. When he raised his hands and feet, he exuded a faint arrogance. This guy is really strong. Feeling the powerful aura of the opponent's body, although the surface was calm, Lei Xiao, who was excited in his heart, first pretended to be calm and nodded in return, and then checked the opponent's attributes. Name, Knotweed. Occupation, Berserker. Class, Tier 5 and 2 stars, the higher the star, the stronger the strength. Loyalty, 50. Skill 1, Madness, active, self-strength soars, and enters a weak state after use. The rest of the skills cannot be viewed due to lack of loyalty. As expected of a berserker, the strength after berserkization, I'm afraid it can't even approach the 6th rank. After closing the attribute bar, Lei Xiao couldn't help but secretly marvel. I don't know what the Lord's command is. On the other side, the Knotweed spoke again, and at the same time, a series of prompts appeared beside him. Such as, standby, territorial patrol, free movement, peripheral investigation, etc. Suppressing the throbbing in his heart, Lei Xiao showed a thoughtful look. Due to the appearance of Knotweed, his situation has undoubtedly undergone a complete change. The problem of survival is a thing of the past. At this stage, how to develop more efficiently is a new problem before us. And the premise of development is naturally to understand this land. Realizing this, Lei Xiao opened his mouth and said, then let's investigate outside, don't go too far. Having said that, although the loyalty of the Knotweed is only 50 points, Lei Xiao is not worried that the other party will disagree. When the recruitment order is used, the other party has already signed a master-slave contract with him. Unless the loyalty drops below 20 points, he will never have any thoughts of defecting or other. Follow your orders. I'll do a little reconnaissance within a 1-kilometer radius first. On the other side, Hu Zhang clasped his fists, turned around and strode out. After the other party left, Lei Xiao did not hesitate, and once again used his golden finger on another, first-order recruitment order. Congratulations, your first-order recruitment order has been upgraded to 98 first-order recruitment orders. My dear, is this a change in quantity? It feels like wholesale. Seeing that there were a lot of recruitment orders on the ground, Lei Xiao suddenly showed a look of dumbfounding. At present, the upper limit of the population of the territory is only 10 people. At this stage, it is naturally not enough. However, this feeling of copying and pasting still made Lei Xiao feel happy. After all, others only have 2 recruitment orders a day, but now he has close to 100 orders, which is too many to be used up at all. Next, Lei Xiao did not rush to fill up the population, but prepared to confirm the survival resources in the safe zone first. There is no doubt that if the food and water sources in the territory are insufficient, blindly expanding the population will have the opposite effect. Just like that, after a full circle of the territory, Lei Xiao found out. With the log cabin as the center, a radius of about 30 meters is around. They are all surrounded by a translucent energy wall and can come and go freely, much like a protective cover in a war strategy game. Standing on the edge of the protective cover, looking out. In the jungle outside, strange dark shadows flashed past at high speed from time to time, and in the distance, a shrill roar could be heard. It can be seen that outside the safe zone, there are indeed dangers. As for the safe zone, there are only a lot of trees and a crystal clear stream. In the middle of the stream, there is a spring that keeps coming out. Occasionally, small fish and shrimp can be seen swimming past. It can be confirmed that it is a clean water source. Is there only water? Lei Xiao returned to the wooden steps at the entrance of the cabin and sat down. Lei Xiao opened the chat channel, ready to check the status of the other lords. At this time, most of the people have already understood their own situation. Yu reading www.uukangshu.com have a general understanding. However, the core of the discussion is still the food issue. Grandmas, when I was cutting trees with the farmers to get wood, my foot was swollen when I accidentally pressed it. Now I'm sore and hungry, I want to cry. Anyway, he's better than me, so be content. The peasants I summoned were starving before they could work. Outside the safe zone were all goblins with their teeth and claws, and they couldn't find anything to eat. Have mercy on each other. My territory is in the mountains, and there is only a pile of stones. There is a black tiger blocking the door outside. I can only chisel large stones with 2 farmers at home. What are you? The 2 peasants I summoned are big ants. They were hungry as soon as they came out, and they would not work without food. I was about to go up the tree to pick fruit, and now I seriously doubt that they are the lords. It's a farmer. Alas, I am also miserable. I wanted to go to the river to catch fish, but the fish was not caught, and the farmer was swept away by the river instead. Which kind-hearted brother upstairs, can you give me some food? Anything will do. They were losing weight before the crossover and haven't eaten for several days, woo-woo. A quarter of an hour later, when he closed the chat channel, Lei Xiao looked thoughtful. It seems that I have to let the knotweed go out to get some food in a while. If there is enough food, then everything will be easy. Just when he thought of this, he happened to see the return of knotweed. I saw the other side's tall and sturdy body like a hill, one on the left and one on the right, even carrying 2 equally huge monsters, which looked motionless, obviously lost their breath of life. Seeing this, the corners of Lei Xiao's mouth were grinning to the bottom of his ears. My dear, isn't the food here? Lord of the people, my talent is 100 million point strong. Chapter 3, take turns appearing with red face and white face. On the other side, the knotweed put the body of the beast at ease, then came to Lei Xiao and saluted. Report to the Lord, the camp is 1 kilometer around, and the investigation has been completed. No traces of demon beasts' nests or other forces were found. After a pause, he added, oh yes, I encountered these 2 little reptiles blocking the road, so I cleaned it up. Looking at the little reptile in the mouth of the knotweed, Lei Xiao suddenly showed a look of dumbfounding. What I saw lying on the ground was a huge black hexagonal bull the size of a baby elephant, and a blue giant python that was thicker than a 100-year-old tree. Especially the blue giant python, although it lost its life breath, the shiny thick scales and the sharp fangs that are more than half a meter long in its mouth all show that this beast was definitely not a good kind during its lifetime. Lord, do you have any other orders? Immediately afterwards, the knotweed asked again. Looking at the other party, it was as if he was going for a walk. He didn't even take a breath, and Lei Xiao didn't hesitate, and responded directly, let's expand the scope of the investigation a little more, and get a clear picture of the surrounding situation. As ordered. Hu Zhang clasped his fists, turned into a phantom, galloping away. After the other party left, Lei Xiao rolled up his sleeves and took out the wooden box from the cabin. This box is the Lord's exclusive storage box. Only Lei Xiao himself and those authorized by him can use it. To put it bluntly, it is the storage space, which is unique. Although there are only 100 grids at present, all similar items can be stacked. And, this box also comes with another function. That is, the selected items can be automatically decomposed perfectly in an instant. Of course, it also includes the corpses of these two monsters. After the transportation was completed, Lei Xiao's mind moved, and the corpse in front of him turned into a white light and automatically entered the storage space. Break down. Without hesitation, Lei Xiao immediately started the operation. You decompose the first-order 5-star monster hexagonal ground cow, and get beef x 1400, beef tendon x 50, cowhide x 20, and horn x 6. You decompose the first-order 8-star monster bluestone mysterious python, and obtain snake meat x 1600, snakeskin x 30, and poisonous fangs, rare, x 2. Sensing that so many things appeared in the storage space in an instant, Lei Xiao couldn't help showing a satisfied smile. This is the first harvest in this world. Except for the 3,000 pieces of processed meat, the rest of the items are important materials for making equipment, and they will be used to the best of their ability in the future. Especially those two rare poisonous fangs, it is even more possible to create superb weapons. In addition, after trying, Lei Xiao found out. His golden fingers can't react to food and materials. It seems that only functional items can use this talent. Thinking of it this way, then weapons and equipment should also be fine, right? Don't know what the reaction will be then. While pondering, Lei Xiao opened the function interface again. This time, instead of entering the chat channel, he entered the trading center. Through this function, no matter how far away, all lords can conduct real-time transactions in exchange for the items they need. At present, there are already a considerable number of lords, all of which have their own needs. Without exception, they all use basic resources such as wood, stone, and thatch in exchange for food. Even the occasional wild fruits, wild vegetables and wild mushrooms are popular. As soon as it was put on the shelves, it was immediately dropped by someone. And meat, no one has ever put it on. Noticing this, combined with the content of the previous chat, Lei Xiao showed a thoughtful look. Undoubtedly, due to the low combat power. At this stage, most of the people are trapped in the safe zone, and it is difficult to get enough food supplies. Does this mean that I can use the food that is not lacking at all in exchange for other people's resources? Following this line of thought, Lei Xiao continued to think. He has 3,000 servings of meat, and each serving weighs about a pound. Moreover, the knotweed can be dispatched at any time to replenish. Food is a consumable, but resources can build and upgrade the Lord's mansion. In this way, as long as there is enough food, doesn't it mean that everyone in the early stage is working for me alone? After making up his mind, Lei Xiao's mouth couldn't help showing a hint of an old capitalist smile. When browsing the chat channel before, he has roughly summed up the efficiency of most people in collecting resources. With all the tools available, a summoned Tier 1 peasant can collect an average of 5 units of stone, 10 units of wood, or 20 units of thatch per hour. Based on this data, Lei Xiaoluo pondered, and first put 1,000 copies of snake meat in the storage space to the trading center in an anonymous way. What he has to do is not just as simple as directly changing resources. Trader, anonymous. Trading item, 1,000 copies of snake meat, 1 for each exchange, 0.5 kilograms each. Required item 1, stone, 50 units. Required 2, wood, 100 units. Required item 3, thatch, 200 units. Since many lords are in the trading center, they are squatting to grab food. Therefore, as soon as this information was released, various chat channels were detonated almost instantly. 1,000 servings of snake meat. I'm not dazzled, right? Anonymous Boss 666. But this big guy is very powerful, and the price is a bit outrageous, right? There are not enough resources to replace it. That's right. My peasants can only mine 5 units of stone in an hour. This guy actually wants 50 units for one piece. It's too dark. Is there any other big guy? It takes 10 hours to change a pound of meat, and I won't change it if I die of starvation. Upstairs, if you work for 5 hours for a pound, I can accept it. Please let the other bosses take us to fly. Let this black-hearted big dog's wishful thinking fail. Looking at the content in the chat channel, Lei Xiao showed satisfaction. This is exactly the result he wanted. First, sing the red face anonymously, raise the price to a very outrageous position, and lower everyone's psychological expectations. Then he will appear on the stage and sing his own face. In this way, with the comparison, you can undoubtedly maximize the price within a reasonable range. It can also make others feel grateful to you, which can be said to be both fame and fortune, the best of both worlds. It is conceivable that this kind of food for resource method cannot last for too long, and it has to pave the way for the next development. In the eyes of other lords, establishing a good image is obviously a good start. Furthermore, there is no doubt that among the billion lords, there are bound to be hidden dragons and crouching tigers. Set up a more powerful anonymous imaginary enemy for these people, and they can naturally spread out and focus on their own eyes. www.mflnovel.com, which has the effect of disturbing everyone's sight. After a while, when I saw the chat channel, there was already a lot of indignation. Lei Xiao smiled slightly, and then reopened the trading interface, ready to test the water first. Next, of course, it was time for the white-faced tycoon who had been waiting for a long time to appear. Trader, Lei Xiao. Trading, 100 copies of beef, 1 for each exchange, 0.5 kilograms each. Required item 1, stone, 20 units. Required 2, wood, 40 units. Required item 3, thatch, 80 units. As soon as the new transaction information came out, all the chat channels boiled to the extreme again. Brother Meng, good news. The much-anticipated new boss has appeared. The price of meat is super conscientious, and the trading center is quick to grab it. Thank you, boss. I got a pound. Now the starving farmers can work, hee hee. Haha, me too. The peasants whose loyalty has dropped to 30 finally don't have to look at me with contempt. The big guy is mighty. It's cool. There's meat to eat. The big guy competes for high. Big brother, no, giant. Please accept my knee. Everyone, leave me a copy. It's only 1 unit of wood to get it. Damn it, no. Boss Lei Xiao, a book written in the blood of 10,000 people. Lead us to defeat that black-hearted anonymous dog owner. Just as Lei Xiao had expected, in just a few seconds, 100 servings of beef were sold out. And he also successfully obtained 2,000 units of wood, 1,600 units of thatch, and 600 units of stone. The resources required for the first upgrade of the Lord's mansion are so easy to obtain. Lord of the people, my talent is 100 million point strong. Chapter 4, shocked the world. Having said that, in fact, this time, the transaction ratio set by Lei Xiao is not low, and even a bit outrageous. It takes an ordinary farmer to work for 4 hours in a row in exchange for 1 share. And from the beginning to the present, only more than 2 hours have passed. Therefore, for the vast majority of people, changing 1 copy is almost the entire wealth. However, because of the big black-hearted dog owners at the beginning, there will be a lot of praise and applause in the chat channel. Seeing the mere 100 servings of meat, he easily replaced all the materials needed to upgrade the Lord's mansion. Lei Xiao couldn't help showing a hint of joy on his face. Others need at least a week or so of hard work to complete the collection of resources. It only took me 10 seconds to do it easily. Even at the beginning of the game, the V15 is not as fast. Without any hesitation, after extracting all the resources from the trading center into the storage space, Lei Xiao couldn't wait to arrive in front of the cabin and directly pressed the upgrade button. In an instant, a colorful light curtain appeared out of thin air, completely covering the entire cabin. At the same time, a prompt sounded. You have consumed wood X 2000, thatch X 1000, and stone X 500. The Lord's Mansion LV1 is being upgraded, please wait. Hearing this, Lei Xiao showed a look of anticipation. After all, the previous level 1 cabin was so weak that it almost collapsed with the knotweed. After the upgrade, why do you have to be more stable? About a quarter of an hour later, the light curtain gradually dissipated, and the prompt sound came as promised. Congratulations, your Lord's mansion has been upgraded to LV2. Congratulations, that manufacturing function has been newly unlocked. Looking at the cabin in front of him, not only did it double in size than before. Moreover, the exterior is specially reinforced with wood for a second time, and rainproof measures are added, which can be described as a new look. After walking around the cabin, Lei Xiao showed a satisfied look. What surprised him even more was that the manufacturing function was unlocked. Through this new function, you can directly use wood, stone and other raw materials to instantly process corresponding products. Simple tools such as carts, logging axes, arrows, etc., as well as living objects and furniture such as wooden barrels, wooden bowls, wooden stools. Of course, although only relatively simple rough processing can be performed at present, it is worthy of the level that can be used. But most of these items are obviously the most scarce daily necessities in the territory. Undoubtedly, it has solved a major problem in front of Lei Xiao. Next, just as he was about to enter the room to check in detail, the prompt sounded for the third time. Dear Lord, congratulations. Become the first Lord in the world to be promoted to a level 2 mansion. The world broadcast will be broadcast soon. Would you like to disclose your name? Hearing this, Lei Xiao, who had already planned the next step in his heart, pondered for a while and responded directly, open. The next second, a sudden voice sounded in everyone's ears. Congratulations to the Lord Lei Xiao of number 0013076067, the world's first 2-level Lord's Mansion to be upgraded. A second-order random equipment will be rewarded, and a second-order random equipment blueprint will be awarded. For a time, the billionaire lords all over the place were all stunned on the spot. Undoubtedly, if the name Lei Xiao was mentioned, it was only circulated among some lords before. Then, at this moment, the ears of all the lords of Blue Star have been shocked. Especially those foreign lords, who have never sold a large amount of meat in their trading centers. After hearing this information, their faces were full of surprise and puzzlement. However, since the current World Chat channel has not been opened, it will not be listed here for the time being. At the same moment, all domestic regional channels, instant frying pan. The big guy is awesome. So fast. I'm afraid this guy is out of luck. Where can I report him? Report Nima. Upstairs with a brain puncture. I thought I was sitting in front of the computer and playing games. They must be really capable. That's right. How can you mortals understand the world of the boss? By the way, let me ask, is there any ornament on the boss's leg? The first-placed little brother, when they were practicing dance and learning new postures, they came across directly. Can you teach them how to develop quickly? Speaking of which, Brother Meng, this is the big brother Lei Xiao who just gave us meat at a low price. God Xiao, I salute you salute. Support Xiaoshen. We finally stepped on that big anonymous dog. Ha ha ha. Glancing at the chat channel, Lei Xiao smiled and walked straight into the cabin. After entering, Lei Xiao found that the upgraded Lord's mansion was indeed much better. The outside is the reception room, and the inside is the bedroom, which seems to have become a standard suite. Moreover, a lot of wooden furniture such as tables, chairs and benches have been added. In the bedroom, in addition to the softer wooden bed, there are also 2 bedside tables, which look very clean and tidy. After walking around, Lei Xiao seemed to have remembered something, and showed excitement again. By the way, I didn't expect the first place to get extra rewards in addition to being on TV. Since the random equipment and equipment blueprints he had just obtained had been automatically distributed to the storage space, he couldn't wait to come to the wooden box. Next, of course, is the exciting part of extracting rewards. Immediately afterwards, Lei Xiao's mind moved, and a long blade similar to Tang Hengdao and a leather scroll appeared on his 2 hands one by one. Congratulations, you have obtained the second-order weapon, Falling Moon Blade. Congratulations, you have obtained the second-order armor blueprint, Black Iron Chain Armor. Looking at the weapon and the blueprint, the words, upgradable, appeared. Lei Xiao was overjoyed and immediately used his golden finger to start upgrading. However, in order to prevent a lot of things from suddenly appearing under the feet again. This time, he chose to operate directly in the storage space. Congratulations, your second-order weapon, Falling Moon Blade, has been upgraded to 101, second-order weapon, Falling Moon Blade. Congratulations, Yu reading www.uukangshu.com. Your second-order armor blueprint, black iron chain armor, has been upgraded to third-order armor blueprint, bright silver bright armor. Is it a qualitative change and a quantitative change again? Not bad, not bad. Immediately, Lei Xiao's mind moved again, and a falling moon blade reappeared in his hand. Name, Falling Moon Blade. Grade, second order. Excellent, green. Attack strength, the higher the star rating, the stronger the attack power. Additional effect, none. Remarks, the whole body is made of fine iron. The blade is straight, with a total length of 75 centimeters and a blade length of 55 centimeters. It is equipped with an oval metal guard. It is said to be a standard weapon of an empire. Good guy, it's just for self-defense. As for the rest, we can also equip the army in batches in the future. Pulling out the long sword, and waving it a few times in the air, Lei Xiao put the sword into the sheath and hung it on his waist. This kind of weapon is light and sharp, and does not have high requirements for the user. Although he is currently only an ordinary person, he can still exert considerable power, and is obviously a good self-defense weapon. I have to say, this looks a bit like a lord. After walking a few steps back and forth, Lei Xiao nodded in satisfaction. As for the upgraded third-order armor blueprint, it requires a blacksmith shop and corresponding materials to make it. And, the specific properties can only be viewed after the production is successful, so it is not used for the time being. After all this was done, Lei Xiao, who was carrying a sharp blade, sat on the wooden boss chair in the reception room. Prepared to open the trading center and make the next arrangements. At this moment, he accidentally discovered that the number of his private messages had reached 9999 plus, and it was still flashing non-stop. Lord of the People, my talent is 100 million point strong. Chapter 5, Big Dog and Big Conscience. Since it had been set to mute before, Lei Xiao couldn't help but feel a little surprised when he saw so many private messages. Click on a few. Mr. Xiaoshen, my brother's family is not short of money. As long as I can help my brother, when I go back, I will ask my family to give you 100 million yuan. You can also be the president of my listed company. What do you think? God Xiao, my younger brother is still a bit famous. You should know by looking at the name. My younger brother was still on a variety show before crossing the road. Can you give my younger brother something to eat? I beg you. Brother Xiaoshen, can you lead the Luan family? Douyin has 10 million fans. For details, please see the attachment, Love Launch. Looking at it for a while, Lei Xiao's face did not show a trace of waves. Among the letter recipients, there are many well-known social figures in the past. However, the identity and money before the crossing obviously did not bring any help to these people. As for the content of the private messages, needless to say, they are all monotonous texts such as asking for experience and asking for thighs, and there are many girls who have attached some attachments. Between doubts, he checked a few attachments, and Lei Xiao was taken aback for a moment, then he threw them all into his favorites with a dignified expression. Of course, Lei Xiao would not reply to these private messages. There is no doubt that judging from the current situation, when the 3-day protection period ends, there will inevitably be a larger proportion of people who will lose their lives one after another. The strong survive and the weak perish. The law of the jungle, which is the law of the jungle, is appropriate here. Perhaps, this is the essence of their collective crossing. From this, it can be seen that the only way to obtain the truth in this strange and different world is to constantly become stronger. Lei Xiao is not a savior, let alone a naive virgin. Growing up in an orphanage, he has clearly understood since he was a child. No matter which world you are in, instead of wagging your tail and begging for pity, you tend to be inflamed. It's better to find a way to make yourself stronger and be more practical. At least at this stage, he doesn't need allies, let alone drag him down. Thinking of this, after clearing all private messages, Lei Xiao opened the trading center. Next, it's time for the main event, the transaction. Because only the first lord to complete the specified goal will receive the world broadcast and corresponding rewards. So, according to the previous plan. Next, Lei Xiao will naturally upgrade to a level 3 lord's mansion in an anonymous form. Undoubtedly, it's time for the anonymous boss to appear again and attract a wave of attention. In this way, the 1,000 copies of snake meat that were initially listed in the trading center were taken out. After Lei Xiao changed the price, he relisted some of them. In the process, Lei Xiao was surprised to find out. Even with such a high ratio, more than 20 copies of snake meat were exchanged. It seems that among the lords, there are indeed hidden dragons and crouching tigers. Having said that, because the resources for a third-level mansion are wood x 6,000, thatch x 3,000, and stone x 1,500, it has tripled compared to before. So, this time, Lei Xiao simply ordered 300 servings of snake meat, and adjusted the price to a third higher than the previous beef. Well, the anonymous boss is naturally a big black-hearted dog owner, and he has to conform to the personality. Trader, anonymous. Trading item, 300 copies of snake meat, 1 for each exchange, 0.5 kilograms each. Required item 1, stone, 30 units. Required 2, wood, 60 units. Required item 3, thatch, 120 units. Unsurprisingly, as soon as the snake meat came on, food was still the main theme of the chat channel, and there was a sound of mourning. Anonymous 300 servings of snake meat? The price is so much higher than that of Shaoshan. Damn, it must be the black-hearted big dog in the beginning. Don't change, absolutely don't change. It's too dark. What's the experience of eating snake meat in another world? Out of curiosity, Solo will try it for you. Working for the boss before the time travel, and working for the big black-hearted dog after the time travel, life is hard. Snake meat is really delicious. Hey, I didn't eat in the morning, and after working for more than 2 hours in a row, I was already hungry and my chest was on my back. If I fight, I'll change it too. Excuse me, the dog. No, anonymous boss, can the meat be a little cheaper? Upstairs, there is still time to bargain. There are only more than 150 copies left. If you don't buy it, it will be too late. It's so expensive, how can someone change it? You fool. What? The meat is almost gone. Then give me a copy. In this way, despite the complaints in the chat channel, 300 servings of meat were quickly scrambled in less than a minute. No way, currently food is a rare resource. Especially in the case of manual labor, it is undoubtedly an indispensable necessity, not to mention the meat that can quickly replenish energy. Therefore, as long as it is within the range that can be exchanged, there are naturally many people who are vying to exchange. Is this a monopoly market? It's so exciting. Seeing that at the snap of his fingers, he had exchanged a huge amount of resources effortlessly, and Lei Xiao couldn't stop laughing. Of course, although there is a little bit of taking advantage of people's dangers. But when food is so scarce, the two sides can only get what they need. What's more, Lei Xiao's approach has indeed solved the urgent needs of many people. Extract all the resources to the storage space, Lei Xiao found. This time, a total of 12,000 units of wood, 7,200 units of thatch, and 1,200 units of stone were exchanged. The wood and thatch are enough, plus the remaining 100 units of stone, so the stone is still 200 units short. While pondering, Lei Xiao opened the chat channel again. At this time, he unexpectedly discovered that the others were actually divided into two factions, fighting each other in the chat channel. This big anonymous dog is really too dark. The price is so much higher than that of Shaoshan. 1 hour of work is done for nothing. I miss the conscience of Shaoshan. That's right. The most important thing is that we indirectly contributed to the arrogance of the big black-hearted dog. www.mtlnovel.com. I regret it. Come on, take the bowl to eat the meat, put down the bowl and curse the mother, you people grab the bamboo shoots. That's right, without the food of anonymous bigwigs, can you have meat? Bah! Damn, there are people who speak for the big black-hearted dog. As the #1 fan of Shaoshan, I am the first to refuse. What? We also have anonymous bosses behind us. It's meaningful to see how low-key and luxurious they are. Look at my violent temper, the ace Xiaofan applies to fight. Go up and give you black dog legs a shovel. Seeing that he had another identity and even had some supporters, Lei Xiao suddenly showed a look of dumbfounding. However, there are more messages on the channel that ask the big guys to feed them. Can you say a few words less, work more and save some resources when you have time, isn't it delicious? I'm so hungry that my eyes are staring at gold, how can I have the strength to work? But everyone in the chat channel is talented, and they talk nicely, so I can only chat with everyone like this. I don't know if Xiaoshan is there. Can you give your brothers and sisters some more conscience? At the beginning, I missed 1 unit of wood and didn't get it. Just now, I missed another 1 unit of wood. Upstairs. Strongly request the big boss Xiaoshan to stock up. The resources are ready. Brother Meng, everyone, don't panic, watch the poor way to summon Xiaoshan boss. Sand sculptures. The gallium scorpion is full of possibilities, and you can summon the scorpion, and I will play the handstand ollie. Okay. Seeing that there was a dear friend who actually knew this kind of special skill, Lei Xiao smiled slightly and typed a line in the chat box for the first time. Lord of the People, my talent is 100 million point strong. Chapter 6, Counterattack of Anonymous Gangsters. I saw Lei Xiao in the chat channel, typing, since everyone is short of food, then I will take out the last 100 units of meat and share it with everyone. Of course, the main reason why Lei Xiao said this is naturally because of the lack of 200 units of stone. On the other side, Lei Xiao himself, who was the first to be upgraded to a level 2 Lord's mansion in the world, fell from the sky, and the chat channel where tens of thousands of people were online at the same time instantly boiled to the extreme. This golden ID, this dazzling name, Brother Meng, the method is successful. The boss of Xiaoshan is coming to our channel. OMG. It really is the deity of Xiao God. Take a screenshot as a souvenir, hehe. Xiaoshan is great, I just formed the first Xiaoshan fan group, please flop. Brother Xiaoshan, look at me. If you have a girlfriend like me, what time do you go home at night? For details, please see the private message attachment, by Xian. The green tea flavored sister upstairs, save it. Brother Xiaoshan's favorite is definitely the type of sister, flaming red lips, high heels, air kisses. By the way, what about the little brother who killed Matt who was going to stand upside down just now? The melon seeds on the bench are ready, when will the performance? Ha ha ha. Just when the chat channel was hot, Lei Xiao had already posted new transaction information. Trader, Lei Xiao. Trading, 100 copies of beef, 1 for each exchange, 0.5 kilograms each. Needs, stone, 20 units. Sure enough, he shot another 100 servings of beef. The boss of Xiaoshan is too particular. Impressed. For the first time, I felt that my territory was on the edge of a cliff with only stones. I was really happy. Thank you for the meat. Although I don't have any stones, I used wood to get 20 units, and I just grabbed 1. Cool. Nima, I said that the stone I hung was replaced with wood at the speed of light before I could cancel the order. It turns out that your kid did it. Is this the speed of being single for more than 20 years? It's terrifying. I'm sorry, I've been single for 40 years, double the speed, double the happiness, ha ha ha. As soon as it was hung up, the messages of successful transactions began to refresh on the screen in front of Lei Xiao. In just over 10 seconds, 100 servings of beef were traded for clean again. At the same time, he also successfully obtained 2,000 units of stone. After extracting all the stones into the storage space, Lei Xiao came to the front of the cabin again. Now that there are enough resources, the next step is to upgrade the cabin, broadcast around the world, and get rewards. Give me a promotion. Directly press the upgrade button of the Lord's mansion, and a colored light curtain appears on time, completely covering the wooden house. At the same time, construction sounds and mechanical prompts similar to the construction site sounded in my ears one after another. You have consumed wood X 6000, thatch X 3000, and stone X 1500. The Lord's mansion LV2 is being upgraded, please wait. This time, the upgrade time was obviously longer than before. However, the prompt sound came quickly as promised. Congratulations, your Lord's mansion has been upgraded to LV3. When the light completely dissipated, Lei Xiao was pleasantly surprised to find out. The Lord's mansion, which has been upgraded to level 3, is not only larger in size than before, but also in height. In addition, the foundation of the wooden house has been completely changed to a stone structure, which looks very solid. It can be said that before Lei Xiao, he was afraid of being trampled down by the knot of the knotweed. Lei Xiao couldn't wait to walk into his lord's mansion, and after a full circle, Lei Xiao couldn't help showing a satisfied smile. The interior of the wooden house has been replaced with a double-story structure. The bedroom was moved to a safer second floor, and at the same time, a study was added on this floor. As for the first floor, in addition to expanding a lot of the living room, the original location of the bedroom has become an independent office. In between, a semi-open restaurant was added. That's right, I finally have a prototype of the Lord's mansion. Just when Lei Xiao thought of this, the prompt sounded again. Dear Lord, congratulations. Become the first Lord in the world to be promoted to a level 3 mansion. The world broadcast will be broadcast soon. Would you like to disclose your name? Private. According to the previous plan, Lei Xiao responded without hesitation. Immediately, for the second time, the warning sound suddenly exploded in the ears of every lord. Congratulations to the anonymous lord, the world's first lord's mansion to be upgraded to level 3. You will be rewarded with a random tier 3 equipment and a blueprint for tier 3 random equipment. With Lei Xiao's previous foreshadowing, at this moment, how the lords of the country are boiling, needless to say. And those lords in foreign countries can only stare at the corresponding chat channels with wide-eyed eyes and a look of astonishment on their faces. Although the global notification this time is in an anonymous form, there is also a label of the country at the front. A foreign channel. Daxia, it's Daxia again. My Paolai Principality refuses to accept it. Upstairs, isn't the entire blue star invented by you? What are you still sour here? Oh. Friendly greetings from the Bread Federation. First place in Daxia. I love Daxia. What a cold winter, how cold a winter, how cold a winter, da da da. Wait a minute, isn't this the chat channel of our beautiful country? Why are there so many monsters and ghosts? Beauty is a shit. This is obviously the chat channel of our Paolai Principality. It's the other way around. Yu reading www.yuukeungshu.com dares to devour the master than the son-in-law of Yudafu, hahaha. I remembered. Before we crossed, we seemed to be on a cruise ship that was sailing at sea. Nanny? Did you treat everyone on this cruise ship as one country when you crossed? How cold. I'm playing mud in the northeast. 2 flowers bloom, 1 for each. Looking at the chat channel, the first, anonymous boss, to be upgraded to the level 3 Lord's mansion successfully attracted everyone's attention again. Lei Xiao smiled slightly and began to check the reward this time. Congratulations, you have obtained the Tier 3 weapon, Earth Two-Handed Sword. Congratulations, you have obtained the Tier 3 weapon blueprint, Light Crystal Staff. Without hesitation, upgrade directly. Congratulations, you triggered the lucky crit effect. Your Tier 3 weapon, Earth Two-Handed Sword, has been upgraded to Tier 5 weapon, Dragon Slaying Sword. Congratulations, your Tier 3 weapon blueprint, Light Crystal Staff, has been upgraded to Tier 4 weapon blueprint, Angel Staff. Good guy, triggered a critical strike, and went directly to the 5th Tier Two-Handed Sword. I didn't expect that I would have a day in Africa too. Looking at the giant sword that was at least 1 person tall and weighed hundreds of kilograms in front of him, Lei Xiao's eyes lit up, and he couldn't help crying out in surprise. I saw that the surface of this sword was blood red and looked extremely sharp. A gust of breeze blew, and faintly, a faint humming sound could be heard. There is no doubt that such a magical weapon can be used skillfully, even a plane can be cut in half in an instant. Immediately afterwards, Lei Xiao couldn't wait to open the attribute bar of the two-handed sword. Lord of the People, my talent is 100 million point strong. Chapter 7, Inventory Harvest. Name, Dragon Slaying Sword. Grade, 5th Order. Extraordinary, Silver. Attack Strength. Additional effect, Dragon Slayer, increases damage to dragons by 100%. Remarks, It is said that this sword seals the soul of the dragon, and when it is waved, the sound of the dragon can be heard. Its previous owner was a legendary dragon slayer. After the accidental disappearance, the whereabouts of this sword are also unknown. My dear, I didn't expect it to be a dragon-slaying sword with special effects on the dragon family. In addition to being surprised, Lei Xiao's mind moved, and the heavy sword in front of him automatically entered the storage space. There is no doubt that this giant two-handed sword cannot be used by him himself. In other words, there are very few people who can use this heavyweight weapon. Thinking of this, Lei Xiao's eyes lit up, obviously realizing that he was a suitable candidate. By the way, with the strength and stature of the knotweed, this is just right. When he comes back, just give it to him. After making up his mind, Lei Xiao's eyes landed on the fourth-order weapon blueprint, Angel's Staff, in his hand. Is it a staff? Putting the blueprint into the storage space, Lei Xiao showed a thoughtful look. Through this reward, 2 new clues can be concluded. That is, there are not only dragons here, but also magic and magicians. It seems that this magical new world is becoming more and more interesting. With a smile, Lei Xiao opened the territory information again. LV of the Lord's Mansion, 3, you can receive 4 first-order recruitment orders every day. Owner, Lei Xiao. ID, 0013076067. Population, 2/50. Number of buildings, 1. Storage space, 15/130. Resources, wood X 8000, thatch X 4800, stone X 1800. Food, beef X 1200, snake meat X 1280. Material, beef tendon X 50, cowhide X 20, horn X 6, snake skin X 30, poisonous fangs, rare, X 2. Equipment, Tier 2 weapon, moon blade X 100, Tier 5 weapon, dragon sword. Equipment blueprints, Tier 3 armor blueprint, bright silver light armor, Tier 4 weapon blueprint, Angel's Staff. Functional class, First Order Recruitment Order X98. Materials required for upgrade, wood X 18,000, thatch X 9,000, stone X 4500, iron or X 500, copper or X 500. Unconsciously, I have saved some money. Taking a deep breath, Lei Xiao did not appear satisfied, but began to think about his next plan. At this moment, he clearly understood. Although up to now, I have left other people a few blocks away, but this is just the beginning, and the future is full of too many unpredictable variables. It is conceivable, except for the billion lords who came through together. And there are huge local forces in this world that have yet to show up. If the territory continues to develop, it is bound to have various unpredictable conflicts with these forces, it is just a matter of time sooner or later. And when everything is still unclear. The only thing that can be done right now is to plan ahead and lay a solid foundation for the future. Is the upgrade resources tripled this time? Looking at the last item of territory information, Lei Xiao frowned slightly. The first 3 basic resources are nothing. The problem is the newly added iron ore and copper ore. Looking at the notes on iron ore and copper ore, Lei Xiao learned. These 2 items are level 2 resources that are 1 level higher than the old 3, and you need to find the corresponding ore veins to mine them. At this stage, it is obviously difficult to obtain. Even in the trading center, no one traded. It seems that the upgrade of the mansion can only be postponed temporarily. Shaking his head helplessly, Lei Xiao opened the manufacturing page of the new function he had previously unlocked. Prepare to make some daily necessities first. Wood X1, plus, stone X1, equals, rough stone pickaxe X1, or, rough logging axe X1. Wood X1, plus, stone X1, equals, rough arrow X10. Wood X10, equals, rough trolley X1. Wood X1 equals paper X10. Thatch X10 equals rope X1. Wood X1 equals wooden bowl X8. Wood X5 equals wooden barrel X1. Stone X4 equals stone grinding X1. As for the production process, it is not like a game, just click on the relevant page directly. But in the office on the first floor, there is a fixed manufacturing magic circle. After the raw materials are put in, they will appear in front of you after a period of time, or you can choose to put them directly into the storage space. What is displayed on the manufacturing interface is only the list of items and formulas that can be manufactured at present. In this way, I tried to make some pots and pans. Lei Xiao, who was holding a brand new wooden cup, first went to the creek outside the house and scooped up a full glass of water. Then, while drinking the sweet spring, he continued to check other production projects. Immediately, he discovered that there were actually 2 architectural blueprints at the bottom. Paper X1 equals architectural blueprint, ordinary residence. Paper X1 equals architectural blueprint, utility room. Seeing this, Lei Xiao did not hesitate to use 1 unit of wood to make 10 sheets of paper. He also made several blueprints for residential houses and blueprints for utility rooms. You have obtained architectural blueprint, ordinary house, X5. You have obtained architectural blueprint, utility room, X5. According to the knowledge that poured into his mind at the beginning, Lei Xiao learned. In this different world, it is possible to create a building in an instant. However, corresponding architectural blueprints and resources are required, both of which are indispensable. www.mflnovel.com. To put it bluntly, the architectural blueprint is equivalent to an alternative magic scroll, which is a one-time consumable. After the building is successful, it will lose its function and cannot be used again. Of course, except for the Lord's mansion that can be upgraded, it is a special type of building. In addition, it may be because the architectural blueprint itself has no class. Therefore, gold fingers cannot be used for quantitative or qualitative changes. Carrying the architectural drawings in his arms, he walked out of the cabin, and after looking around, Lei Xiao noticed. After 2 consecutive upgrades, the cabin has grown several times larger than at the beginning. The surrounding trees are almost reaching the eaves. Therefore, in order to build a new building, it is necessary to cut a lot of wood and open up a new open space. It's time to recruit new subordinates and come out to clear the field. Thinking of this, Lei Xiao did not hesitate, took out 41st order recruitment orders, and began to collectively summon. At present, the food and water sources are very sufficient, and naturally there is no need to worry about the new subordinates eating. As for why the population is not directly filled, it is to prevent the situation that the summoning cannot be summoned once a higher level recruitment order is obtained before the upper limit of the population is raised. Therefore, some places are reserved for backup. After all, this is not a game, but a real different world, but everything is intuitively displayed in a semi-digital form. From this, it can be seen that as a lord, if you reduce the population at will, you will lose popular support, which is tantamount to digging your own grave. Just like that, along with the dense doors of light, they kept flashing in front of the Lord's mansion. In an instant, 40 figures appeared in front of Lei Xiao one after another. Lord of the people, my talent is 100 million points strong. Chapter 8, Bears in the Safe Zone. Careful observation, these people are obviously ordinary people, about 20 to 40 years old, most of them are not even as tall as Lei Xiao, and their physical fitness seems to be somewhat unsatisfactory. After summarizing the attributes, Lei Xiao discovered. Of the 40 Tier 1 subordinates, 36 are 1-star farmers, 1 is a 2-star farmer, and the last 3 are 2-star hunters, with an initial 50 loyalty points. As for skills, about 1/3 of farmers have the logging passive, which increases the efficiency of collecting wood by 20%. 3 hunters carry the active skill trap, which can create first-order traps. The rest are all whiteboards. However, unlike the knotweed, these people basically carry basic tools such as axes and sickles, while hunters carry rough bows and arrows. Village Gang Song, representing the remaining 39 people in this village, see Lord. I saw one of the relatively sturdy middle-aged 2-star hunters stepping forward and salute. Immediately afterwards, everyone knelt down on one knee and offered their loyalty to Lei Xiao. All get up. This time, Lei Xiao's performance was obviously more calm. I saw that he nodded slightly at first, glanced around the crowd, and then ordered, everyone forms a team of 10 people nearby and choose their own captain. You have only one task at this stage, and that is to do your best to clean up the trees around the log house. If there is a lack of tools, the captains of each team will report directly to me. As soon as Lei Xiao's voice fell, the 41st Order subordinates immediately began to act. After a while, the entire territory was full of busy scenes. Because after being upgraded to a level 3 mansion, the scope of the safe zone also expanded to a large extent. Therefore, even if there are so many people in the territory all of a sudden, there is not the slightest crowd. At the same time, the 4 elected captains came to Lei Xiao together after counting the tools they lacked. Unsurprisingly, apart from the 2-star hunter Gang Song who spoke just now, the other captains are the subordinates of the 3 slightly stronger 2 stars. In this way, after summarizing, Lei Xiao immediately went back to the office to start production. After a while, all the new tools were distributed in sufficient quantities. Seeing that everything was on the right track, just when Lei Xiao was about to go back to the house to take a breath, he saw Gang Song and 2 other hunters coming over again. When they got closer, all 3 of them were a little awkward. "Look at me, I'll look at you," as if they have something to say. After a while, Gang Song finally couldn't help it, he bowed to Lei Xiao and said, Lord, we are all experienced hunters. Although it is very dangerous outside the safe area, with our ability, we can shoot a few hares and wild ducks nearby, and there is no problem. Why should we be left behind for logging? Yes, Lord. The shorter middle-aged hunter next to him also echoed, our reconnaissance is also a good hand, and Lord will not be disappointed. Looking at the puzzled expressions on the faces of the 3 of them, Lei Xiao smiled slightly and responded, first of all, don't worry about the food, I have my own arrangements. As for the investigation, before you came, I had already sent another person out to find out the environment around the territory for several kilometers. Looking at the time, it was almost time to come back. Square, how many kilometers in radius? After listening to Lei Xiao's words, the 3 hunters looked at each other with disbelief on their faces. As old hunters who have been walking in the mountains all the year round, they can tell at a glance that this place is located in the deep mountains and old forests. Even if they are experienced, at most they only dare to act within a radius of 100 meters. No matter how far away, it is very likely that there will be first order 3 or 4-star or higher, or even second-order powerful monsters. Those are all ruthless characters who kill people without blinking an eye. It seems that the guy who went out to investigate is either stupid, or just blind and brave, trying to show his performance in front of the Lord. Alas, it must be less fortunate. Gang Song just thought of this, when the short hunter in front of him suddenly showed a look of horror, pointed to Gang Song's back, and said incoherently, "Bear, there is a bear. Lao Du, this is a safe area. Did your head get caught by the door of light when you teleported?" Looking at the other party with contempt, Gang Song turned around and saw a behemoth more than 2 meters tall, already silently standing behind him. Because of the backlight, he could only see a black outline, and in a trance, he was almost out of breath. "Nima, it's still a bear." The hunter's intuition told Gang Song, danger. The giant beast in front of you is extremely dangerous. In the panic, Gang Song, who was caught off guard, only had time to utter a foul language, and sat down on the ground, too frightened to move. "Hu Shuang, you scared your own people. Lean to the side and don't block the sun." Looking at the hilarious scene in front of him, Lei Xiao had an expression that couldn't help but laugh and cry. "Follow your orders, Lord." A rough voice sounded, and the knotweed, who had returned from the investigation, stood beside Lei Xiao. "Let the others come first." After everyone gathered, Lei Xiao patted the broad back of the knotweed and said, "Let me introduce you www.inflanovel.com. This is your colleague, the 5th Order Berserker, let's get to know each other." 5. 5th Order Berserker. This is my own. After listening to Lei Xiao's words, everyone was stunned on the spot and began to look at each other, their shock beyond words. Gang Song, who had just been lifted up, also had a huge wave in his heart and opened his mouth involuntarily. Although they are both farmers and hunters, they also know how powerful 5th Order Masters are. That is a super strong man among the 10,000 armies, like entering a realm of no one. In the country they were in, only the most trusted general by the king's side had such a shocking strength. There is no doubt that they can get the allegiance of 5th Order Masters. Their lord, I am afraid that he is not the heir to the throne of any country, came out to experience life. At the same time, a series of prompting sounds rang in Lei Xiao's ears one after another. Congratulations, your subordinate First-Order 2-star Hunter Gangsong has a strong admiration for you, and his loyalty has increased by 20 points, which is currently 70 points. Congratulations, your subordinate First-Order 2-star Hunter, Du Zhong, has a strong admiration for you, and his loyalty has increased by 20 points, which is currently 70 points. Congratulations, your subordinate First-Order 2-star Peasant Hopu has a strong admiration for you, and his loyalty has increased by 20 points, which is currently 70 points. Congratulations, your subordinate. Hint: if your subordinate's loyalty reaches 100 points, they will swear allegiance to you and never decrease. Seeing the loyalty of the 41st Order subordinates, all of them rose by 20 points, Lei Xiao couldn't help showing a slightly surprised look. Good guy, it turns out that loyalty is improved like this. Lord of the People, my talent is 100 million points strong. Chapter 9, Mysterious Enchantment Area. In this way, after the introduction, other ordinary slaves are arranged, and the centralized logging work is still carried out. Lei Xiao led the knotweed and the other 4 captains into the living room of the mansion. It is also a good choice to serve as a conference room here. Hu Zhuang, how is the investigation? After everyone was seated, Lei Xiao, who was in the first position, immediately asked. Reporting to the Lord, just now, I expanded the scope of investigation to about 3 kilometers around the camp. Hu Zhang stood up, clasped his fists and said, this time, I did get a lot of information. Next, after the description of the knotweed, Lei Xiao learned. With the territory as the center, within a radius of 3 kilometers. In the north, there is an endless mountain range with steep terrain. In the other 3 directions, except for the west, there is a turbulent river with a span of about 100 meters. The rest of the place is covered by dense forest vegetation. Among them, there are large and small monster dens, the number is about a dozen, and the highest strength is the 2nd rank, which is not a cause for concern. As for other less threatening beasts and ordinary animals, it is even more scattered. In addition to the abundant natural resources such as wild fruits and vegetables, in general, the surrounding area is a relatively rich area. Finally, regarding other human forces, they have not yet been discovered. It turned out to be like this: hard work. After listening to the report of the knotweed, Lei Xiao, who had already made up his mind, nodded thoughtfully. The north and west of the territory are blocked by natural dangers. And, judging from the current situation, in a short period of time, there is no need to worry about food and water sources. It can be seen that this is undoubtedly an excellent development site. By the way, Lord, there is one more thing. Just when Lei Xiao thought of this, the knotweed opened his mouth again. 3 kilometers to the southeast of the camp, I also sense subtle fluctuations in magical energy, and it is speculated that it should be an enchantment area. However, since I am a physics major, I cannot conduct deeper investigations. Magic enchantment. On the other side, Gangsong pondered and said, I remember hearing from the ancestors in the village when I was a child that when he was young, he once took a boat by chance and went to an enchantment area called Peach Blossom Spring. According to him, within the magical barrier, there are generally some hidden races that do not want to be disturbed, or it may be the location of a mysterious treasure. Exactly. The knotweed nodded in approval. I can vaguely sense that this barrier has existed here for a long time, and should not pose a threat to us. If the Lord wants to further investigate the details, he must also use the power of magic to decipher it. Understood. Since it's not too threatening, let's wait until we have new colleagues from the magic profession to join us, and then make plans. Lei Xiao thought for a while, and then said, finally, I will repeat today's task again to clean up all the trees around the Lord's mansion. Nada rests for a while, and then joins in the work of clearing trees. Just play freely. As ordered. The first 5 people stood up at the same time and responded. Just when everyone was about to turn around and go out to work, Lei Xiao thought of something and added, by the way, let everyone work harder, finish work early, and eat barbecue in the evening, unlimited. After hearing the words, eat barbecue meat, unlimited, the expression of the knotweed became more normal, while Gangsong and the others showed ecstasy, hurriedly responded, and ran out to inform the others. The villages where these people live are very poor, coupled with a severe drought and constant wars. It is an extravagant hope to even eat a full meal, let alone eat meat. Immediately afterwards, outside the Lord's mansion, there was a cheer of, "Long live the Lord." While somewhat surprised, Lei Xiao looked out the window and saw that everyone threw off their arms and smashed trees frantically with their logging axes. On the other side, the knotweed did not rest, but directly found an area without people, pushed it out with one palm, and a large number of surrounding trees fell in pieces, just like a humanoid bulldozer. The fifth-order powerhouse is so terrifying. Seeing this, Lei Xiao couldn't help but exclaim, and silently gave the other person's back a thumbs up. Going back to the boss chair and sitting down, Lei Xiao took a sip of water and reopened the chat channel. At this time, food is still the absolute theme. Moreover, it is somewhat ironic that since the previous lord who claimed to be a poor Taoist successfully summoned the big boss by practice. Now in the chat channel, there are all kinds of follower phenomena, all of which are calling the big guys for feeding. The Zijin gourd is here. God Xiao, I will call you, do you dare to agree? Master Xiaoshen, I'm your long-lost sister. Mom told us to go home for dinner. Come out. Blowing kisses. God Xiao, can I have a little more meat, even if the price is higher, I'm willing. Stop it, upstairs, how could our respected boss Xiaoshen raise prices? Is he that kind of person? Let's pull the energy. Move the light wave. Summon the anonymous boss. A group of sand sculptures. If you want this big boss to come out, labor and capital are for lying down and annoyed iota. Seeing the appearance of Mr. Killmate again, Lei Xiao pouted slightly, but did not intend to reply. But at this moment, a message caught his attention. A blueprint for a miracle building, changed to a Tier 1 recruitment order, just one is fine. Huh. Has this guy got water in his head? As long as you have a grain of peanuts, you won't be so drunk. That's right, one more subordinate means one more battle strength and hope for survival. Who would use their life to exchange a blueprint with you? That's right, what are you kidding me, I can't support myself anymore, what's the use of me wanting this broken blueprint? I want it, talk to me privately. Just when everyone was sneering, a brief message instantly silenced the entire chat channel. However, when everyone could clearly see the name in front of the brief message, the atmosphere in the entire chat channel immediately changed 180 degrees. It turns out that God Xiao is here. Crazy calling for the big guy. Brother Meng, the barrage is up. Hey, it's still the big boss Xiaoshen who has vision and foresight. My little brother admires him so much. Is this the arrogance of the boss? Love, love. Brother Xiaoshen, you reading www.yuukangshu.com. You are the most beautiful cub of this guy. Love. By the way, what about the little brother who killed Matt? The big boss Xiaoshen has already given you face twice, hahaha. Looking at the content that was constantly being posted in the chat channel, Lei Xiao couldn't help but wonder whether to laugh or cry. It seems that after a series of previous operations, his name is now completely known to everyone. Having said that, this level of recruitment order is naturally invaluable to others. However, for Lei Xiao, who still has nearly 60 pieces idle in the warehouse, it is obviously not very valuable. Besides, since the mansion has been upgraded to level 3, at least 4 more can be received every day. At that time, if you use Goldfinger to upgrade, the number will only increase in a straight line, only more or less. Not so with the miracle building blueprint. According to the knowledge pouring into his mind, Lei Xiao learned. This thing is a serious super rare item. After the construction is successful, like the Lord's mansion, it is a special type of building. It can have various benefits and enhancements to the territory. However, at this stage, everyone is struggling to survive. Therefore, its real value has not been highlighted. Thinking of this, Lei Xiao couldn't help showing doubts. It stands to reason that such a blueprint for a miracle building should be extremely difficult to obtain, and the number is extremely rare, many of which are unique. Naturally, it is impossible to send someone out to search, as in the game, and there is a chance to get it. Well, it's only been less than a day since the start of the game. How did the opponent get this ultra-rare item? Lord of the People, my talent is 100 million point strong. Chapter 10, Miracle Architectural Blueprint, Light Healing House. At the same time, somewhere in the plain wetland forest, an unknown level 1 territory. When Penelia, who was resting under a big tree, saw Lei Xiao's reply on the chat channel, she couldn't help but be taken aback. Even the bitter wild fruit bitten in half by Xian's hand fell to the muddy ground in front of him because his mind went blank in an instant. After a while, she revealed a look of surprise and joy in her clear eyes. Banksia never imagined that among the billion lords, the big boss Xiaoshan, who is unknown to everyone, actually returned her message. Very good. In addition to being excited, a line of tears quietly slipped across Penelia's pretty face, and finally landed on the placket that was already soaked in tears. A few hours ago, the 2 farmers she summoned both died in an accident. Now she is alone, in a vast tropical forest, dazed and overwhelmed. Before crossing, Banksia lived in a single-parent family, and she and her mother depended on each other since childhood. Originally, these experiences were not enough to completely defeat her for her tough personality and self-reliance very early. However, now one of the 2 suns above his head has begun to show a touch of sunset color. This undoubtedly means that the sky will gradually darken until night falls. The most terrible thing is that Penelia suffers from a phobia of darkness. Even in a familiar home, you must turn on the lights and sleep peacefully by your mother's side, not to mention, alone in the wilderness of another world. At that time, her spirit and will undoubtedly be shattered by this endless darkness. Therefore, even if there is only one subordinate by her side, it can give her the courage to survive the long night. In a desperate situation, Penelia, who accidentally obtained the blueprint of the miracle building, had to send advertisements on various chat channels. I hope there are good-hearted people who can use a first-order recruitment order to replace the blueprint and give her a chance to challenge the knight. What can be obtained is the ridicule and ridicule again and again. It can be seen that when Penelia, who was gradually discouraged, saw Lei Xiao's reply, what a huge wave was set off in his heart. This stranger, whom she has never met, is her only hope. Master Xiaoshan, are you really willing to use a first-order recruitment order in exchange for my blueprint? A moment later, Penelia, whose heart was still pounding, tentatively sent a private message to Lei Xiao. On the other hand, since he was already in the chat area, he had written a reminder to the other party. So, Lei Xiao saw the information immediately, and immediately replied, yes, but before that, I still have a question. Undoubtedly, the reason why Lei Xiao chose to chat privately with this female seller. Naturally, to find out the source of this rare blueprint. In this magical and unfamiliar world, he still has too much to learn. This is far more important than simply getting one. However, according to common sense, the other party may not reveal this information easily. It is very likely that the price will start on the ground, or other conditions will be attached. Doubt. He stroked the messy hair in front of his forehead, and Banksia pondered for a while, then quickly replied, Mr. Xiaoshan wants to ask, how did you get this blueprint? Seeing that the other party went straight to the topic, Lei Xiao did not detour, and answered 2 words succinctly, exactly. After receiving Lei Xiao's response, Banksia hardly hesitated, and directly put the ins and outs of the matter in a private message. It turned out that right next to the Banksia territory, there was a huge ancient ruin that was covered by vines and soil. This blueprint for the miracle building was discovered by accident in a ruin on the edge of it. However, although the blueprint was obtained, Penelia also paid a heavy price. That is, on the way back to the territory, the 2 peasants who were exploring the road ahead accidentally stepped on the magic trap in the ruins. They were instantly frozen into 2 ice sculptures, and then shattered to the ground. It can be said that high returns are often accompanied by high risks. It turned out to be like this. After reading the other party's reply, Lei Xiao showed a thoughtful look. There is no doubt that this is obviously a kind of adventure. However, unfortunately, this way of obtaining the blueprint cannot be replicated, which is a unique geographical advantage. In addition, Lei Xiao was a little surprised. Naturally, the other party told him the ins and outs of the matter so easily. This made him feel a little good about the seller. Let's start trading. Immediately afterwards, Lei Xiao directly opened the trading channel, and first put the first-order recruitment order that he had just taken out. 2 first-order recruitment orders. Seeing that Lei Xiao doubled the originally agreed price, Banksia's heart beat even more, and he quickly asked, Boss, this is? The other one, just use it as a deposit. If there is another item in the ruins next time, sell it to me first, and I will buy it at a higher price than the market price. Lei Xiao responded lightly. Needless to say, since the other party can find a rare item in the ruins, the possibility of finding a second item cannot be ruled out. It is obviously a very cost-effective deal to get the right of first refusal for the next time with just one first-order recruitment order. There is no doubt that www.mtlnovel.com Lei Xiao is making a long-term investment. Thank you. Thank you so much. Banxia's eye circles are red again. For her, 2 recruitment orders are undoubtedly equal to a chance to start over. Just like that, after the transaction was successful, seeing the sky getting darker, Banxia couldn't wait to press the summon button. In an instant, 2 doors of light flashed in front of her eyes one after another, and then, 2 female slaves with wheat-colored skin and exotic costumes knelt down in front of her. There are 2 flowers, one for each. On the far side, Lei Xiao also looked at the miracle architectural blueprint he had just obtained with great interest. This drawing is very simple and old, the surface has completely turned yellow, and in some places, there are even traces of mildew and blackening. However, the occasional flash of magic on it shows that it has obviously not lost its intended function. Blueprint for Miracle Architecture, Bright Healing House. Required materials, wood X 5000, thatch X 4000, stone X 3000, white jade or X 2000, light spar X 1000. Are there 2 more second-level resources? Among them, light spar is still a rare resource. Reluctantly curled his lips, Lei Xiao put this blueprint of the miracle building into the storage space for the time being. Since the architectural blueprint is the same as the equipment blueprint, the specific properties and functions can only be viewed after the construction is completed. Therefore, Lei Xiao had to make a simple guess based on the name. It looks like it should be a medical type of building. After all, it's a blueprint for a miracle building. It can't be too bad. Let me wait and see the specific role. Immediately afterwards, Lei Xiao calmed down and opened the trading center.